All right, welcome back, Will, to another episode of the Hollywood Kickbacks podcast. I'm your co-host with the co-host, Alex Milledge. Joined with me, as always, is Will Lopez. Will, how's it going?
Pretty good, man. Pretty fucking good. As you can see, wearing my shades today because we're I think we just outcooled our boy, our guest that's back onto the podcast, man. And I
That's
had to wear my Manchester City medal today just to remind people, just who we are, dude.
just a remind who's
I
daddy.
thought you, I thought
Yeah.
you, I thought you wrote, I thought you ran a half marathon.
No, you don't.
I'm
You're
like,
not
I'm
gonna
like,
do
I'm like,
that.
I'm like, oh, dude, Will, congrats, man. That's like a lot of training.
No, man. No, you're not gonna outcool us, dude. This is
Yeah,
our episode this time. This is our
yeah.
episode, and let's continue, man.
So how's that loss feeling, bro?
It's like, if I'm being honest, like I'm not like the only like I'm not bothered about the defeat. I'm just bothered that I have to listen to you two now. like,
Yes.
like, like,
Well,
because Alex, here's the thing, right? It's like, it's like one of those games, right? You just like, all right, Manchester City with a better team. Like, what more could I possibly say at this point? Like, they're like, I mean, we'll get into it. We'll get into it in a few minutes, but
Yes.
that's my pre-take. It's just like shoulder shrug. I'll
okay.
shrug my shoulder.
Well, I'll give you this, Cameron. Bigger for you to come on this podcast after you've been giving it out large. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You were saying you're probably saying some dastardly things on the last few podcasts, right?
So
You're taking
dastardly.
you're dastardly. It's some
Dastardly. The word of the day. You were
There
saying
you
some
go.
dastardly remarks, young man.
you're saying some was it saying the darndest things, you know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
And you know what? Big of you to come back on the podcast to get it right back. Because guess what? Everybody in the 3-2-3, put your hands in the air and follow me. Hey, hey, check it out. This man doesn't have his hands up. Oh,
Because I'm
three,
because
two,
I'm
three,
I'm
three.
I'm in the
Oh,
619, big
kickback.
dog. I'm in the 619, dude.
Okay.
You don't
Okay.
know
Let me
about you don't know about that. You don't know about the 619.
Eddie
The
Guerrero was
streets of the
619.
619.
I think,
And
but
Rey Mysterio to Rey Mysterio.
Oh
but
man.
so yeah, actually, Cameron, I want to pull this trivia card for you. I want to test your Spurs knowledge. Okay, I'm gonna jog it back for you. 2014, White Hart Lane, City beat Tottenham 5-1. Man City's goal scorers: Aguero, Toure, Edin Dzeko, Jovetic, and company are the City's goal scorers. Tottenham has a lone goal. Who was it scored by?
Ooh.
I'm gonna. I have two. I have two
Don't Google it.
choices.
Don't Google it. Okay,
I'm
two
not.
choices.
I'm not.
Okay,
It's either Roberto Soldado or Christian Eriksen.
wrong.
Dun dun dun.
It was Etienne Capoue.
Jesus Christ.
You remember
That's a
I
that?
mean,
fool.
oh, don't Google this as you proceed to Google the result. Like, when was the last time we really beat Tottenham? We beat Tottenham badly at home, away from
It,
home.
it it wasn't. It was an Instagram post, but I
Oh
decided to
wow.
turn to trivia,
The
French,
Oh,
trivia.
to turn it to trivia.
What you
Uh,
train?
oh, I like
I
that.
guess my French is rubbing off on you.
bro,
Trivia.
I took French in high school, dude. I took high school, took it way before you, dude. Way before you. Put some
Je m'en bats
respect
les
on there.
couilles. Je m'en bats les couilles.
Oh, here we
Fanculo,
go. Here we
Je
go.
m'en bats les couilles.
Okay. Yeah.
mailed. But
Yeah.
but yeah. So, Will, how you feeling?
Man, what a way to start the game with that big moment they took away from our boy Bob, because he did score in the last game to win against Newcastle, and this would have been a fucking really important one to start the game with scoring our first goal at Tottenham. But other than that, I mean, it was a tough game, dude. We called some big scores. We called some big predictions. Cam called 2-0. I called 3-1. What did you call 4-1?
4-1, yeah.
and it was not like that. So we got we got over the fucking fence, but we hit our shins on the way to the other side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was a good one, though. It was a good win.
Cam, what are your thoughts on the first half?
Well, I mean, I think if you look at the run of play, City were the dominant side in the first half. I think um, City pressed narrowly against us as they did last time, and you know they went hard out right off the gate and right out of the gate, and Oscar Bob was fractionally offside, by not by much. So that was a big let off. But I think we started to gain some control back in the first half, but it just seemed like everybody just the level like the level was not there. And players like Bentancur, Kulusevski, like they just had off games, and the times that, that we did have the ball and we were looking into space to kind of release Timo Werner, if the ball was either too late, not at all, or too inside to where Kyle Walker could intercept it. I mean, hold on here. Kyle Walker can read a game better than he can read the room in his relationship.
Oh my god, I just saw that this morning, dude.
And
Yeah.
um, you know, may that man get some help. But on the pitch, he's good. But I just think that I would say it was probably like the first half is probably the least entertaining of like the City Tottenham sort of, I would say, de facto derby.
Hmm.
Um, you know, just both. I mean, City did have more shots on target, of course. I mean, it's self-evident, but it just seemed like,
You had one shot on goal, brother.
yeah,
One
that's what
shot
I'm
on goal,
saying.
one on
That's what I'm
target.
saying. It's hence why I said it was self-evident, brother. Self-evident.
18 shots to one shot on goal.
Well, he had 18 shots, 5 shots on target.
Yeah,
So,
still, brother.
I mean, but no, but it's just like we didn't play bad, but we also didn't play good. So it's just like, so the first half it was like, all right, there's still a chance, but things didn't look that great.
So my observations of the first half, I think City match Tottenham's intensity pound for pound. You know what I mean? Like Spurs came out with some intensity, but City met that right back. And I think after the first 15 minutes, Spurs saw that and they kind of, kind of on the ropes at that point. Because Spurs like to dictate the tempo right from the beginning, but City were able to match that tempo. But the Oscar Bob goal, you can make a case that that was onside. I think Mickey Van de Ven played him onside, and if you look at that replay, one thing is that it's like an optical illusion because Oscar Bob's foot is his cleat is the same color as the line, so it creates like this optical illusion on the replay that lends itself to be like, where's his foot? And it's like fractionally offside. But I think Mickey Van de Ven played him on. So um that should have been a goal and that would have changed the course of the game, but alas it didn't. Um and I definitely would award the first half to City, although I think the waning part of that half Spurs started to come back strong and that carried over into the first part of the second half. Um so
But I just felt City were just like City were starting to ping the ball around and doing their thing, and I felt just throughout that first half we were trying to try to wrestle the game back from Man City. And I think if you spend too much time trying to stay in the match, you're mostly going to draw or you're most likely going to lose because you're spending more energy trying to maintain what you're doing as opposed to kind of going at them. And so, but I just think that when we got the ball, we just didn't make the right decisions. It was the pass either too early, too late, not at all. It's just, you know, I think when you have players like you have two players of Timo Werner and Brennan Johnson in the same lineup, they both do essentially the same thing. They both try to get in behind. They're two wingers that get in behind. And in the first half, mean, Kulusevski's a decent passer, but he's more known for just like kind of bringing the ball, carrying it. But I think I felt he was carrying it into dead ends. Like there's like he was bringing the ball into areas where City could snuff it out easily, and there wasn't there wasn't a sort of cohesion. Like it wasn't terrible, but it's just like it wasn't good either. It's just meh. But
I mean,
it's
uh,
really that's it.
Pep and Big Ange are definitely motivated personalities. So their halftime, whatever they were saying at halftime, especially Big Ange, whatever he's saying at halftime must have worked because Spurs reclaimed some of that. I feel like they reclaimed the tempo of the match in the beginning of the part of the second half. And like about 5 minutes into the second half, I was like, I felt at some point like the game plan for Spurs was switching to like if we can't score on these fools, we're going to just play this to 0-0, prevent them from scoring at Tottenham Stadium, and then take it to a replay. Um, and I was texting the group chat with Will, and I was like we need to get KDB on now. It's like we're once again City's having a game where we're not doing anything in the first half and we're kind of looking sketchy at some points. And like KDB, I feel like might be coming into like this rhythm where he's just someone that comes on the second half to like mop up the problem or to get us on the right track, which happened. And he was looking very threatening, assisting and passing the ball, getting some chances in, and obviously he was the one that did the set piece, which led to the goal. So um, but I was just texting the group chat like we need to get KDB on now. You know what I mean? Like, and he came on the 65th minute, and like with less than 10 minutes left in the game, I was just like, oh my god, is this going to go to a replay? And
Mm-hmm.
fortunately enough, the Ake goal, Ake scored that goal. And I know there's a lot of Twitter acrimony about whether or not that was a foul. And I'll let you state your case, Cameron.
Well, let's go back before then. Let's go back a few minutes before. Kevin De Bruyne missed like a grade A chance to put that like
Okay,
beforehand.
happens.
So I
So did
mean,
Julian.
yeah, I mean, so it's just like, you know, Holland and De Bruyne apparently against Tottenham, the lights get too bright when they're in front of goal. But no,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make two cases. Was it a foul? Yes. Wait. Was it not a foul? Also yes. Because plays like that, like I in the this season I've seen refs call fouls on keepers for a lot less than what Ruben Diaz did, and I've seen goalkeepers get clattered but then nothing happens. So it's like it's one of those interpretation things, right? Because I think I'm gonna make the case for why it's a foul. Like you see Diaz and Vicario start pushing each other right before the corner kick. You can see that I from what I saw, it seems like Diaz is backing into Vicario, which means that he's not letting him get a complete like he's not letting him make a complete play on the ball. But then on the flip side, Vicario is still I wouldn't say he's trying to not trying to sell it, but he's really trying to fight and fight and fight to stay where he's at and just misses the ball and Ake puts the ball in. So it's like because then if it's the flip side, they say we scored the goal and then the goal got disallowed for that. I'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like,
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
it's one of those things, right, where it's just like you score like it would be a killer if it got disallowed for that. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those I would say it's one of those gray area plays where it's
You know,
like it's like it could tilt either way. Like after looking at it a few times and hearing a few opinions on it, I'm like it's a gray area like with that.
what do you think about that situation, Will?
If Ruben Diaz would have been facing the goalie, I think that would have been a clear foul. But the fact that he went over Diaz and tried to punch, that kind of like evened out the playing field. You know what I mean? If the goalie would have probably tried the attempt and fucking sold it by hitting the ground, they would have probably got that foul.
Yeah.
But because of the way that everything went, and then the ball just going to Ake, that's just a bystander just waiting for the ball. I think that's
Yeah.
why it was just clean, dude, because it hadn't. I mean, everybody played it. Everybody played it, and like I said, they could have sold it, but they didn't. So I
Yeah.
agree with what happened.
It's a gray area. It's like, is it a foul? Yes. Is it not a foul? Also, yes. So
Yeah.
it's just one of those. It's just one of those gray. It's one of those gray area things now. I'm just like, at this point, I'm like, whatever about it. Like,
Hmm.
it's
My
happened. Like,
my opinion about that is that if Vicario got more physical in that position, I think he could have sold the foul for sure. But
Hmm.
instead, he just kind of jumped up and beach balled it down with both hands, and then
Hmm.
that just set it right up for Ake to just foot punch it in.
because
You
then
know,
because then that breeds the foul question where it's like, is Ruben Diaz backing into him enough to where he's not making a full play on the ball? But
Yeah.
that's the argument against. That's the argument why it is a foul. So it really could go any way because it's like really it's at the ref's discretion. I mean, VAR did look at it and it didn't seem like it was enough. So I was just like, like whatever.
It's a very famous tactic to stand next to the goalie like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So, like you said, it's a gray area, dog. But yeah,
but
you guys could have sold it, but I
I just
guess
wish we
everything
I
just
just
went
wish.
clean.
Well, I just wish someone was on. Like usually, it's Rodrigo Bentancur who usually protects the. Like someone is there to protect Vicario from a defender, and there was no one
Yeah,
there, and
yeah.
so it's just like if someone was there to just kind of back, like having just backing off Ruben Diaz, I think that could have been it could have been solved, but alas, it wasn't, and alas, the little engine that could FC. Um,
Here we go.
after 5 games.
that
I
that's
think I
bold.
can. I think I can. I
That's
think I can.
bold
And you
coming
did
from
it. You did it.
that's
You
that's
did.
that's a
You
bold
did
word
it.
coming from a mid-ass club. That's your club is mid as fuck, dude. Like looking at that roster, dude. Like you're really selling Betancourt as your defensive mid. You know what I mean? Is that really what you're going with? Is that what
Yeah, he's quite good.
he's a
It's what's
press
available.
resistant defensive midfielder. Oh my god, dude. Mid AF, mid FC, bro. That lineup, yo, just going off a name, that's going off a vibe, mid. You have a mid ass club, and that just gives you some like just I don't know, some like gets you to some bold like oh yeah, you know what I mean? Like this man. I mean, FM playing for trying to play in the FM save. I'm like, really? This is the team that Tottenham is playing with right now. Like the only person that
Mm.
I rated in that whole match was Brennan Johnson. That was the only person that I rated in the entire match.
Bro, what?
He was a
Bro,
he
what? What? Wait,
why is that was
what?
why is that a
Like,
bold statement? He was the most aggressive player going forward. He was the only player going forward for you guys.
uh, Mickey Van de Ven was the best player for us that night. Like,
You
he,
sure about that? You
yeah.
sure about that?
I mean, if you watch the game, he's the reason why we can play that high line. And De Bruyne got rattled a few times by him, and
Sure,
like
dude. Sure, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
like
Timo Werner had some really good possessions, but the guy was just not pulling the trigger, dude.
well
He kept trying to
well
fucking make plays, dude. Like
well the thing is, right?
I
Like
put a bet on him, so that's why I was like, brother, why aren't you doing what you're supposed to do? You know what I mean? You're
well,
over here trying to
he
get an
was
assist.
doing he was doing what he was doing. Like he's trying to make a run and find. There's just no one there there was just no one there to find him. But I think
Yeah.
that's where I think a fully fit Madison would have
Oh
like
yeah, we saw him.
would have brought that like incisiveness, but alas, he's coming back from injury, and when you're introducing him like 25 minutes before the match is over, it's like it's hard to make any impact. I mean, he's not Kevin De Bruyne for all we know, but it's just like,
That's right.
and so
That's
it's
right.
just so I mean,
Say that again. He's not Kevin De Bruyne. He's no Kevin De Bruyne.
I mean,
Oh,
how many?
We rattled Kevin De Bruyne. Oh my God. We rattled him.
Hey,
Let
bro.
me talk. Let me
You're,
talk. No.
you're, you know
Yeah,
what? No, 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 Cam.
you
You
can
know what,
rattle him.
Cam?
You could rattle
You
him.
know
Like
what,
it's
Cam?
just
No, Cameron, I'm actually writing you into FA Cup, man, as a character.
Dun dun
why? Why?
dun.
I was gonna ask. I'm gonna have
Is
to
it
ask for your permission first.
am I in the canon? Like
You're gonna be in the canon.
There you
FA
Uh,
go.
Cup canon?
you're.
Like
I'm writing you in as a Riddler style figure.
A Riddler style figure? Like
Yeah, like you're like the Riddler for FA Cup, man, because of the Tottenham away thing. So just give it a little taster. But yeah, I might be writing you into the canon. So
New merch coming soon.
new merch coming soon.
well, if you're gonna put my face on merch, I want 50% royalties. So like, no, but no, it's I
Mm.
mean it's just like it's I think at the heart of it like just an overall assessment of the match. It's just like Man City were the better team. Like I mean if you're looking at like a very turgid affair, like this is a team that's been the city's been it's been drilled in for the last 8 9 years, and this is you can clearly see that we're still 7 months into Ange's reign, and so there's it's still a learning curve, and that
I'm
it's
just
just
copying Pep, mate. I'm just copying Pep.
well, the
Big
thing is, right?
Ange,
Yeah,
more like small Ange. You know what I'm
but that
saying?
Oh,
but he
burn.
was responding to the media, everyone saying he was copying Pep, so
Yeah.
it's like it's not like he was doing this over. But I think I think Ange like summed up the match well during the press conference. And this is what he said, quote unquote. Oh, start quote. I thought we defended well, which I think we did. It's not like Vic had a million saves to make or that they created a lot against us. So it's disappointing to concede so late, but having said that, it's not what we were about. We worked hard, but it seemed we were just working to the maximum just to stay in the game rather than getting over the top of them. So I felt that precisely summed the match up, at least from our end.
Yeah.
Like it's just you tip your cap. Like you lose if you're going to lose to a team in the FA Cup, you'd rather lose to Manchester City than Colchester City. So that's, it had to end. And so, I
Worthy
mean,
opponent.
So
yeah.
so Tottenham are knocked out of the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup, and they're very much trailing the pack in terms of title chase for this year. So, in my opinion, it looks like Tottenham are kind of not looking to get a trophy this year. How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, it's, I'm not too bothered by it. I'm not too bothered by it at this point because this is the start of something good with Ange. And I think, you know, knockout tournaments like the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup are essentially crapshoots. Like you can do really well and you have a bad day and you're out. And I think just winning a trophy is hard. Like when you don't have the similar capacities to Man City, but it's just if you look at the last 22 trophies that have been hoovered up domestically, that includes Premier League, Carabao Cup, FA Cup. City have won 11 of the last 22. So City have won more than half of the. So the landscape changes and makes it even harder to win a trophy. And so it's I understand like if things are still going good with Ange, like yeah, I myself and the rest of the Spurs fans will start demanding a trophy now. And so it's just with like it's a lot with knockout cup competitions a lot you have to have a lot of luck um in terms of who you draw, in terms of just like are you doing well in cup competitions this season, and so I guess it's not, I mean again like I think once Ange has another summer transfer window and another January, then I think yeah I'll be like all right, this is what we got to do. This is our targets are going to be even higher. So And I think if you look at the start of the season, like a lot of us Spurs fans were just wanting we just want to see good football. Like we just want to see we want to enjoy watching our team again after the turgid years of Conte and Mourinho. We don't talk about Nuno. And and so the good start that we had was always going to lend itself to overreaction when we had bad results because you see like 10 games undefeated and like, oh, expectations might change, but like really it's just, we're ahead of schedule of what we all thought the players would adapt into Ange's system. So it'll come. Like I'm not bothered. Like I wasn't like if be honest, like the only thing I was bothered about by this game is having to talk to you two tonight. But so that was really like part after that match, it was just like whatever. Like we lost. Like it wasn't like we got battered for nothing. And like Man City are Man City, and so you just have to be like, all right, they were the better team. They were the better team on Friday. Like so one more summer transfer window and, you know, things get started. But I think once James Madison starts to get the full fitness, the back line starts to get the full fitness, I
You
think
guys get Sun back.
Son gets back. Pat Matasar, Senegal lost tonight, so he'll be back. And so it's just let's just go on a run. Like I think I still think we'll make the top four. Like
Mm.
because I think once everyone starts to come back, I think, you know, the goals are going to start coming. And so, really, like, it just is what it is. And, like, and I'm just happy to see I'm just happy to see where the team's at and it's trending positively. And I wake up looking forward to watching Tottenham matches, like, even if we lose. And so, we have a clear identity on how we want to approach a match, and I do see that every game. Like even against Man City on Friday, like you see some patterns of play and it's there, but then that final ball just isn't. Like it just wasn't coming on Friday. And so like we can go toe to toe with the best. It's
Hmm.
just, when you play against Man City, they have those game changers off the bench that you can do. And the thing is, like, as I was watching the game, it's just like we got to
And we're out of
score.
time.
Uh, no.
So Cameron, if you really want to go therapy, just you got to pay us. You know what I mean? So this is we got to get Will in. Will, what are your takeaways on this match?
uh, yeah, it is what it is, man. I mean, I could say as soon as we started throwing in both our midfielders, they threw in Madison, and we were like, "Fuck it, we'll throw in Kevin." Nothing happened, dude.
Yeah,
Nothing happened. I thought it was gonna fucking light up the fucking pitch, but
it was gonna
and
be a
then the
Fourth of
Ake
July fireworks
scores.
show.
Yeah, and then the fucking Ake scores. So it was like, I mean, it's not what we expected, but we'll fucking take it. And we'll take the dub. Yes, 1-0. We barely fucking made it, but hey, we beat Cameron, dude. We
We beat
fucking beat
Cameron.
Cameron.
We beat Cameron Cup.
This
Yeah.
is
And that's why we call him
what
the
a trophy! What a trophy!
that's why we call you the Tottenham legend, brother. Because
Yeah.
you stand for your team, and we respect that, dude. So you know what I mean. It is what
Yeah.
it is, and we're gonna
Like
have you again soon.
This is this
yeah.
is this is this is banter, right? You take your medicine. You
There you
take your
go.
medicine when
Yeah.
you lose as well. So
Like that one meme with the girl who's like putting the milk down the thing.
Oh, yeah.
fuck, Jesus,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
That's
I thought
You
I thought you were gonna reference Two Girls, One Cup or some shit. You know what I
well, you just
mean?
reference it now, so
what
you
we
can live
doing.
with that image. But
Yeah,
but you're just gonna
that's
say,
horror.
Cameron,
That's
you
horrific.
you give it large, we'll give it to you right back.
Yes,
And
yes, yes.
you have to answer to the plaudits of Hollywood kickbacks.
Yes, sir.
So we keep a record and we forgive, but we don't forget. You
There
know
you
what I
go.
mean? And
You got receipts? Yeah.
There you
we
go.
have
I
all
mean,
the
the receipts are
receipts.
the video. The receipts are the audio, so
Yeah.
it's not like
So
it's not like you're digging anywhere deep.
I can clip you however way I want to. You know what I mean? I can just be like make you say
Watch
something
out.
scandalous. Anyhow, my takeaway on the match is obviously we broke the curse.
Mhm.
And we need to break the curse before we play you guys in March
Yes.
at Tottenham away. So hopefully that bad juju's way behind us when we go, because March is going to be a period of a hard run of games, because when we face most of the top six, and City
Yeah.
haven't really played that well against the top six this year. I mean, if you recall, the only team that we beat was United. We drew to Chelsea 3-3. We drew, no 4-4. We drew the Spurs 3-3. We drew Liverpool 1-1. We lost to the Villa. As I said, we beat
Arsenal.
United, and we lost to Arsenal 1-0. So
Yeah.
the thing is though is that technically we don't really need to beat the top. Obviously should beat the top, but in a title race, like, I mean, get away with maybe drawing. You know what I mean? Every now and then. But obviously, I want us to dominate like we did last year. You know what I mean? Like we beat Arsenal in every game that we faced them last year in any competition.
Yeah.
So, but like, I would say though that this year hasn't really been a good year for City facing top six opponents. But we'll see how it goes in the second half of this season. So, yeah, that really about wraps it up for City versus Tottenham.
Okay.
Cam, we'll give you the last word ish.
Um, Trust Ange. Um, things are all right. No need to overreact. Loss sucked, but was that whatever? Um, in other news, I released another article in my Liga and Substack about my experience at that night in Lyon, where the match was abandoned after like 2 hours. Like the match stopped after 5 minutes, but it took 2 hours to get abandoned. So I have another one coming out about um Rennes and
Okay.
their uptick in form under their new old manager Julien Stéphan.
Mhm.
So that's cooking in the works. So if you wanna know more about the sport across the English Channel, um, there you go.
Awesome,
Um,
dude.
what was this about Benzema going to Lyon?
I don't think it's not gonna happen. I
That's where he
mean,
came from, right?
yeah, Benzema was a Lyon youth kid.
Mm.
Same with players like Hatem Ben Arfa. Also, they both kind of came around the same time. So, um, I know Benzema's looking to leave Al Ittihad, and seems like Lyon was like the only club that was kind of going after him. I understand that John Textor wants to bring back like an old head to galvanize the squad against Lyon. Crap, they're like I think they're in the relegation playoff zone.
They're treading
So
relegation.
they're in the relegation playoff. So they're still like they're still in jeopardy, but it seems like the wage package is just going to be too high to bring Benzema to Lyon.
Mm.
All right. Well, you can follow Cameron at simply known as Cam across all social media platforms, or at least Instagram. I'm not sure what your things are
Well,
on other places.
I'm on Blue Sky. Um, if you're on it, but I assume that many if everyone's not on it yet.
Mhm.
I deleted Twitter because it was a cesspit of hell, and my Substack is Cameron Talks Liga.
Okay.
Ligue. So you can subscribe to my Substack. Um, I hope to get this next article out by the end of the week. So kind of a more generalized article, but content is content.
All
All
right,
right.
Cam. Well, we got to carry on with our podcast. Nice talking to you. We'll have you back on for
Hey
when we face you
boys.
guys in away in the spring. But for now, have a good night. Cheers.
Thanks, boys. Shee.
All right.
All right.
All right. I can
So
take my shades off now.
thank God.
That was just to out cool. Make sure he
What an
doesn't out cool us in
asshole.
any way.
What an asshole. No, it's all
Oh
good.
shit.
But All right. So we just got some news to get into. There's some big headlines around Premier League football, but the first one is that Jurgen Klopp is set to leave Liverpool at the end of the season. Will, did you hear the news? And if so, what do you
Yeah.
think?
Uh, I don't know why, some strange way, but it kind of made me sad a little bit, dude. Like I was like, damn, who's gonna be our rivalry? Like, who's gonna be the guy to match Pep? You know what I mean? We've had some sick ass battles with them, and Klopp was right behind that. You know, just like how Pep is behind the boys. So I was like, damn, that kind of hit me a little bit. I was like, damn, I'm actually gonna miss that. A lot of people, I don't know why people say fuck his style of football and everything and the way he plays. And I'm like, dude, they, they fucking went Champions League finals back to back. You know what I mean? And I think they won the league, what, since we've won it? Like maybe what, twice?
Once.
Once? Okay.
The
You
the
know,
one
so
in the one in 2020 during the pandemic season.
and he signed some pretty quality players that fucking stood out for Liverpool. Because I remember when Liverpool was nothing, where they were struggling, and then the past 5 years they found some kind of a succession behind Jurgen Klopp. So kind of sucks, and I wonder if he's retiring from coaching or just English football.
No, I think what's on his radar is that he eventually wants to be the German national team coach.
Whoa.
And I
Okay.
think, but in that interview that he gave with Liverpool, he said he's going to take a year off before he makes any decision on his future career because he's not an old man. He's like in his early 50s, I believe.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
he still has a lot of his coaching career still left to go. So, it's like you do feel a little bit very sentimental for him. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like but when we were in the thick of it, when the City Pool rivalry was at its height, I mean, I hated fucking hated
Yeah. Of
Liverpool. I hated
course.
Liverpool. I hated Liverpool more than I hate United during those
Yeah.
years. You know what I mean? And I don't like Jurgen Klopp's style of play personally as a football manager, football FM. Uh, like the Gegenpress style, from what I've understood, is that it's high intensity, heavy metal football. Run your players, high intensity. You're going full throttle at all points in the game. And I think though that within his style of play, that's why he wasn't able to uh, you know, get the edge over Pep because he would run his players in. And Liverpool notoriously always had a injury crisis in the business end of the season. So we're talking like in March and April, like they would
Yeah.
have like a critical injury of a player that would really affect the squad, and City would, edge him out. You know what I mean? I think that in his style of play, kind of edged out the success. I mean, the players during the years that were fantastic for him, obviously Mohamed Salah, um,
Mm-hmm.
oh, it's at Mane,
Yep.
Firmino,
Yep.
like those players balled out and had some prolific scoring years, which propelled. I mean, like you can't take away his achievements, right? He did win one
Exactly.
Champions League. He did win one Premier League. I was listening to the City Report pod today, and one of their I forget the guy, the opposite Amos, but made a good point that like you can't underrate Klopp's success. Like, oh, you can't. He didn't do shit with Liverpool. He did
Mm-hmm.
do stuff with Liverpool. He won a Champions League and a Premier League,
Yep.
but it's easy to overstate it. Like as the English media is doing, like you just see like all these like these kind of what's the word I want to use? Like it's just kind of like lauding Jurgen Klopp and his reign at Liverpool. I mean, like he obviously turned Liverpool around from where they were in the interim years from like Rafa Benitez to when he was hired in like 2014, 2015. Definitely turned the squad around, but it's easy to overstate. Like, I mean, to be honest, like he wasn't as successful because City were more successful in those years. Really, it's like in the
Yeah.
whole City Pool rivalry, there was obviously one better team, and that was City. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So Pep was obviously the more successful in that period of time, but like he was successful with Liverpool. I mean, as I said, he has things he can fall back on, but like I wouldn't overstate it. I mean, he did pretty good, but obviously City were the better team in those years. So, um, like yeah, but and we were talking about this on Bit of Banter last night. So Will and I were on our friends of the show, Bit of Banter, and we are
Yes,
talking
sir.
about this. And is this going to galvanize Liverpool during this business end of the season? And there seemed to be debate between it. So Patrick was saying that it would galvanize, and I believe you said something similar to that. It could galvanize Liverpool in the second half. Like, let's do it for Klopp.
Yeah,
I necessarily don't think it would galvanize as much as we think it will. I think it is definitely like it's going to be in the players' minds, but I necessarily don't think it might propel them to like ball out amazingly and run away with the league or, affect, be the better team than City in this next coming half. I just see too many good things happening for City in this next half. It's knowing the fact that we are nearly close to a full bill of health, and they still have some players still coming back from various cup competitions like the Asian Cup and the African Cup of Nations. So
I know this is a dumb question. Are they in the Champions League or in the Europa?
they're in the Europa Conference League.
Right? Okay, so
Yeah,
they still have something, some kind of a chance at a title.
yeah, a European title. Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, they qualify for the Europa Conference,
Yeah,
where they were last year. I forget specifically their position, but they are
yeah.
playing European football as far as I'm aware. Um,
Okay.
so like, I mean, I just don't think it's going to galvanize them. I think it actually could hurt them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it could just be like it could lead them to be a little bit more rattle, I guess, maybe. And and then like imagine when City takes the title on the last day of the season, right? And like the mood, the atmosphere, it's going to be then for Liverpool fans. You know what I mean? It creates,
yeah,
I think it would actually create some kind of uncertainty for what comes next. But like, then again, players are really only playing for the next game. You know what I mean? Like I got the next game to go to, and I'm not thinking about like what comes next because will know that after Klopp leaves, it might lead to an exodus of a lot of Liverpool players, maybe some of their core. I mean, I know that they have some newer players like Gakpo and Szoboszlai, but like it kind of leaves you wondering where Virgil van Dijk is going to go, if Salah is going to leave. Um, where a lot of this team is going to be at then next year. And what's interesting too is that there's also rumors circulating around Arteta leaving Arsenal, but from what he's said is that it's fake news.
yeah. I don't
So
see that.
yeah. Um, although I do think I mean, where Arsenal's at right now, it's very frustrating. I'm sure fans are starting to feel frustrated with Arteta. We'll see where he's at next season and what kind of summer moves they make because I do know that that
Keep going.
Arteta is not announcing any January window moves. So that's that for that news. Also some good news. City are to return to the United States for summer preseason. Did you hear this
Ooh.
news? Will?
Yeah, there was some fucking headlines that were pissing me off because they were like US Man City preseason tour locations revealed. I was like, "Oh hell yeah, I want to get up on this before we get on the podcast." They didn't say shit. They were just pretty much talking about the last year that they were here. But I am excited for that and I hope that you're right about them coming back to the Coliseum. Not so much the SoFi because that place is a shit show, but I would love to see them back at the Coliseum where we went, where we previously saw them against Real Madrid.
Yeah, so I didn't know Will at the time, but we were both in attendance for that game at the
Yeah,
Coliseum in 2017. Man City played Real Madrid, and that squad, that Real Madrid squad, was basically everyone besides Ronaldo, I
yeah,
believe.
yes,
Because typically on preseason tours, like they really play like their youth academy players, maybe a few of their starlets, you know what I mean?
yeah.
But that was a pretty solid Real Madrid team. I remember like Marcelo was in the lineup,
Benzema,
Benzema, Modric. Like it was a pretty
yeah,
solid
everybody.
squad.
Yeah.
And then, but City beat Real Madrid 4-1.
Oh man.
And that game was the most attended game in Coliseum history for soccer.
Oh, that's right.
Um, it edged. I was looking at the stat. It was like two Chivas games like that where they played. Chivas played like Man United or like Chivas played something. Um, but yeah, it was like one of the most attended games. But I remember that game, and that was a thriller to watch. And um, yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, like so now that SoFi is around, because SoFi wasn't around back then, it was being built.
Yeah,
Like I have a feeling it would be at SoFi. Um, although like I hate being super high up at SoFi. Like like when you're really high up at SoFi for like soccer matches, it's It's just everything looks so small. But when you're at the Coliseum, you pretty have much of a pretty decent seat.
What if it's at the BMO?
BMO. I think that for a game like Real Madrid, Man City, they're going to try to open up to as many people as
Yeah,
possible.
yeah, you're right.
BMO is a little bit smaller. What's even the seating capacity at BMO? It's like 35.
Like 32, 35 around there. Yeah,
Yeah, so I mean it's a good stadium for like concerts and stuff, but
yeah,
and the games that I've been to for LAFC, I like those games, but I think it's either going to be at my pick is going to be at SoFi because there were some games at SoFi last year for soccer. Like Arsenal played Barcelona at SoFi, I believe,
yeah, yeah.
and then I forgot who else. Man United, I think, played a game at SoFi or San Diego, I forget where, but there were some games there. I think if anything, it'd be at SoFi. I don't know. That's just my pick.
For what I
Um,
know, it's gonna be a friendly between us and Chelsea.
you think so?
Yeah, that's what they kept saying a lot in a lot of the sources that I was reading. It kept saying Chelsea, Chelsea, Chelsea. So they said that they're working on that right now. So I mean, that would be a dope ass match to watch.
I mean, I'll go to the game if it's anywhere remotely close to Los Angeles, and depending on what kind of match it is, like if it's like Real Madrid versus Man City and somewhere in the country, I probably end up going to it, like no
Yeah,
matter
of
where it
course.
was at. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if it was like somewhere else in the country, and like, but the thing is though too that I'm thinking about is that like this summer's a pretty packed season for football because you got the Euros going on.
Yeah.
Um, and so you kind of wonder who's going to be playing in that game for Man City, going in that part of the season. I'm sure it's probably going to be like sometime in like early, or late July, maybe. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
You
So a lot of players are getting over the Euros, and I think some players are going to probably want to take about like as much time off before you get to get back into it because the Community Shield is going to be like right around the corner, and then the first game of the season is like in second week of August. You know what I'm saying? So you really got to see who's going to be playing. You know?
an ideal location for me I would love to see them at the Raider Stadium.
I've been to Allegiant for a concert. I saw Red Hot Chili Peppers there. I would go. That'd be as pretty dope. Stay at Excalibur, Luxor, or
Yeah,
whatever,
there you
and
go.
walk across the way to
Hell
Allegiant.
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, if hopefully it's good and hopefully it's close by, and and definitely I'll be heading for that. So yeah, City coming back to the United States. Other news, I don't think we've talked about this yet, but Calvin Phillips is on loan to West Ham.
Bye bye.
Bye. Um, but like you saw that video that West Ham did, like of like
Yes.
promoting Calvin Phillips, and like I have no animosity towards Calvin Phillips. He
Yeah.
just he was a City caliber player that just didn't pan out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like like you have to be a certain level of caliber of player, a special player to like be considered for Man City. And he was
Hmm.
that player he was that player for Leeds. You know what I mean? He was one of the most exceptional players in the seasons when Leeds was, kind of on the downslide from the Premier League.
Yeah.
And it just didn't pan out. I mean, like he didn't pan out to be a decent Rodri replacement. And I think Pep was unimpressed with him early on with his training sessions, and it was just kind of like, he's not that good. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And then Calvin Phillips playing for City kind of developed some diva behavior and ignored his training regimen. And and as a result, he just wasn't played that much. He did score a Champions League goal for us, which, is in some at during the beginning of the season, the group stage. So he did get a Champions League goal for City. I mean, he could say he's a treble winner and move on with his career, and I'm sure he's going to be a solid player playing for whatever other English team, you know what I mean, West Ham, if he stays at West Ham or wherever else he decides to go. I have no animosity towards him. It didn't pan out, and now he's on the way out. So
Bye.
bye. We already did talk about Claudio Echeverri
Yes.
going to City, and that the City football group is tipping him to they'll get him and then loan him out to Girona,
Yeah.
which I think will be a solid move for him to still further to do his development and whatnot.
Yes.
We already talked about that. Um, but we are very close to having a clean bill of health.
Hmm.
Um, I believe the only player that's not fully fit for this coming game against Burnley is Akanji.
Okay.
So from what I just read about, I think Pep did a press conference already for it, and Halon is more or less ready for that. Akanji isn't, but Ederson and Stones are not listed as injured. So the only player that is a maybe for that game is Akanji.
So Juan Piedras is back, huh?
Juan Pierre, which is a good segue into our job today. So if you're paying attention on our social media platforms, we did our special announcement was that we dropped merch.
Yes, sir.
We launched our T Public store and we put up 3 t-shirt designs. And if you saw from social media, Juan Pierre that started off as a inside joke on our podcast. And
Mhm.
it was actually invented by you, Will. And
Uh,
then I
I
remember,
I heard it on Telemundo. That's why, because I was watching the City game on Telemundo, and they
oh
kept
really? And they call
calling him Juan Piedras. So I was
Juan
like, oh
Piedras.
shit,
Oh,
that's John Stones in English, in Spanish. So that's
oh
why, yeah,
wow. Okay.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
damn,
yeah.
you should have owned up to it, dude. You should have said, yeah, that was me. That was on me, dude.
I mean, but I did transfer it to you guys.
Yeah, he transferred it the IP.
Yeah,
But then what the way so it was on the live stream that we did against Newcastle. Like you said, you mentioned Juan Piedras, and then
yeah,
Ibkis was like, yeah, just like put his head on like the Tapatio man, and I'm like, okay, and so I got on it and I did it and made that design and
yeah,
yeah, and for the lulls, right?
yes,
And then I created one from myself that was from the meme that we did, the Chappelle Show meme. I plead the fifth, bump bump.
yeah,
Regarding, for our non-US listeners, the Fifth Amendment is a reference to not incriminate yourself, and
yes,
it pertains to the 115 charges. And it also references the 5 trophies that we won over the course of 2023. So
yeah.
it really dovetails really nicely. I just
That
had to do
one
it.
got received well, brother. Everybody loves that one, dude.
Yeah,
Come on, dude. I plead, and then the 5 trophies. Come on, dude. That was genius. That
yeah.
was genius.
I tip my hat to myself.
There you go.
And then also, of course, how to do the FA Cup man
Yes.
t-shirt with Sergio Gomez. And tell you what, FA Cup man is getting a lot of traction. A lot of
Yep.
people are clamoring. They want more FA Cup man. And I got you guys. I'm literally drafting the arc as we speak for the course of this spring. Like I'm like
Sick.
literally like I'm like I should join WGA, the Riders Guild, and like map this out and like get some like I don't know, get some like join the Riders Guild because I'm literally writing this shit like I would if I was like doing a TV show
Im-
because it's a good idea. You gotta run with it.
Imagine it catches on so much that there's a chant for FA Cup man when he comes out in the games.
That's my goal, dude.
Wow.
That's my goal. I no, not in that sense of like if it happens with FA Cup man, but I do
Yeah.
want us to have
Recognition from the
get
universe.
well, get some kind of virality within the city
Yeah.
fans. Like, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like if Juan Pierre that's catches on, you know what I mean? Like it and I'm just trying to work my way, trying to work my through the channels. Like, I've been posting a lot more to Twitter now, and you got like your top city pages. I got MCFC Lads, City Report Pod,
Yeah.
Noisy Esteemed Company and stuff like that. Trying to hopefully catch on with them and then see where it goes. But like, I just gotta give a shout out, you know what I mean, to the fans. You know what I mean? We appreciate you guys vibing with us. That's why we decided to do the merch drop, and we'll be doing a merch drop throughout the spring. So we got some other designs up our sleeve. We haven't released yet, but we'll be dropping that over the course of the spring. And just as an update too, the kit giveaway is going to be announced on February 1st, which is on Thursday.
Okay.
And we'll be getting that. Also, shout out Asker from Denmark, who was our December kit
Oh yeah.
giveaway winner. He just got it for the finally because Man City shipping is kind of ass, but
Yeah.
he finally got it. Took a picture, and we posted social media. So shout out Asker for being a winner, and we'll shout you out on this podcast if you happen to be the January winner. And then we
Yes.
got a special thing happening in March for our further kick giveaway. Um, yeah, man, things are moving along. You know what I mean?
One thing I did notice, we got mad props from one of the staples of Hollywood MCFC, the homegirl. I forgot her name, but she's like a big staple in that support group, and she said that she loves the stickers. So in my head, I
Yeah,
was like, if we ever go visit some of these places, it would be dope to show up with stickers and just give them out.
Yeah, which we
Imagine
will.
giving out that plead the fifth. Oh my god, everybody would love that shit, dude.
Yeah,
Oh man,
for
yeah,
sure. We'll be getting a few of those uh printed out, and
yeah,
it's just the thing is like oh, I mean, like, it is a bit of a tragedy that we haven't been able to make it out yet to Hollywood MCFC. And I do know the organizer, which is Bernadette. Shout out Bernadette. She's the OG Man City fan in Los Angeles.
yeah.
um and I've known her since I was like in my college years when I was going to like Noel Gallagher shows, and that's where I met her. So she was the original organizer. She started the chapter in 2012. I mean, I came from OC Blues, so that's my chapter. And like, it's just like every time I've wanted to go out there, it's a drive, and I'm a lot of the time I'm broke. So it's like,
Yeah,
going to those things, you're gonna drop a lot of cash on like a good English breakfast and a lot of beers and stuff. So it's kind of like, I'm broke, or don't have gas in the car. So, but
yeah.
really got to just go out there. So shout out Hollywood MCFC. We'll make it out there eventually, and we'll be bringing you stuff. So,
Yes.
for sure. Another thing, fuck, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, we are going to start moving towards doing an in-person podcast for these
Oh yeah,
things.
that's right. Yes.
So eventually we'll be doing an in-person setup on Mondays at 9, but we try to do as much as possible. But we've been doing it remotely
Yeah.
for the time that we've been doing this as a podcast, about a year and a half now. But we'll be moving to an in-person podcast. So there's just so many things to recount. But
I got the green light yesterday.
you did? If is cool
Yeah.
with it?
Yeah.
All
He
right.
said he's gonna give me a key for the door, and then the wooden door, he's gonna give me the code because he fixed it already. So we're pretty much we're set, bro.
Okay. So we got to coordinate
Happening.
that. And
Yeah.
I was looking through some things. We do need some things, but I think next paycheck I'll be honing up for that stuff, and so that
Yeah.
we can have it. So have it for the podcast. There's like 3 things that we need for it. But that being said, we just wanted to give some quick shout outs too. So shout out Bit of Banter for having us on last night. Good
The
stuff. Go
boy
watch them on the social media One podcast I want to talk about in particular, Snobby Pod. We
Snobby.
gotta talk about Snobby Pod. Snobby Pod is doing the work. I've been
Yes.
seeing their posts. If you've seen their posts lately, they're I mean, Colby
They-
from Snobby Pod. If you don't know who Snobby Pod is, they're the DC Manchester City podcast.
Yeah.
And they've kind of been on the radar since we started, and we connected with them pretty early, but they're just, they're just an account I follow, and I saw their post every now and then. But doing a lot of cool stuff, and you just love to see their podcast is definitely taking off.
Yeah.
So shout out Snobby and Colby from Snobby Pod. We're going to have him on here eventually. We
Nice.
just got to reach out to him, but shout out Colby from Snobby Pod, and we'll be reaching out to you here and try to schedule at one point. Is this the thing is with being a Man City podcast on the West Coast of the United States, that we're the last time zone
Yeah.
for fans. There is actually a Manchester City Honolulu supporters group. So
Oh
technically
wow.
we're not the last group, but we
Okay.
are the what for the most part. The West Coast is like the largest market. It's the last market. So by the time we podcast, it's the middle of the night in the UK. Um, and like really like the weekends are only the time we can do it, but we have to like do it at a time when we can catch them, really, because a lot of time it's in the evening over there.
Yeah.
So it's hard to bring people on the podcast, but we are going to try to have some people come on the podcast. We got reaching out to people and seeing what we can do for that. And but we've made some big connections over the last year, over the last season, with some major players in the Man City scene, like Big Steve,
Hmm.
City Report Pod, Noisy Pod. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we're trying to get something going with them. So yeah. Will, any other news that you saw, Will?
I think we pretty much covered it, brother.
All right, so that means that we can get into our upcoming matches, and there are 2 matches to cover, because just from how I think our podcast schedule is going to go, we'll be talking about 2 games. So first up, this Wednesday, January 31st, we are playing Burnley at home in the Premier League,
Okay.
midweek game, and then we have Brentford away on Monday. So we can start first with the Burnley match. So Burnley, coached by Vincent Company, at home against Man City. Uh, Expected that we will be a full will be at full strength for that. Well, no, actually not. As I said, Conchi is probably going to be ruled out. Um, so Will, how do you think City's going to take this match?
This is gonna be an ass whoop. This is gonna be an ass whoop for Burnley. I mean, you know, shout out Vincent Company, but boys gonna do what they do. You know what I mean? So, and then hopefully we get to see a little bit of Erling Haaland. You know what I mean? And we haven't seen Jackie play in a while, so we need a little bit of that. Um, with the match ahead of us so soon, man. I'm calling. Okay, let's go. Erling Haaland, Jack Grealish, Bernardo Silva. Come on, can we start Kevin, please, already, dude? This is the match to do it, right?
Yeah,
You know, and then give me Phil Foden, Rodri. Give me a small big match. So come on, give us FA Cup, man. We need to see that guy a little bit.
we need an appearance from FA Cup, man.
You know that'll boost our ratings up so high if we see him out.
For
If we
real.
see him out on there. You know what I mean?
The deluge of tags we're gonna get when Sergio Gomez hits the pitch again is gonna be
Exactly.
we're gonna yeah, crazy.
You know what I mean? Give me
But
Ruben Diaz. Give me hopefully John Stones and give me Kyle Walker.
yeah, okay, you mentioned big dick for small dick, and I'm
Yeah.
thinking about this. I was gonna field a strong 11 in this match,
Okay.
but thinking about it now, I think you'll see Rico Lewis start this game.
Ooh. Okay.
Um, I think you'll see Halan, I think is going to make an appearance. I think Doku's going to start over Grealish in this game because I think I'd rather have Grealish play against Brentford.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Um, yeah, Brentford away. I think I'd rather have Grealish for Brentford. Foden centrally, of course. Silva on the wing, of course. I think you'll see Lewis play instead of Kovacic.
Mm-hmm.
Then you'll see Rodri. Sergio Gomez on the left. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Ake, Diaz, Walker.
What's up with this guy Nunez, dude?
I mean, it's a selection headache for sure. I don't know. I just think we will see some younger players playing. Rico Lewis hasn't played in a while, and
Yeah.
this is kind of not a game that is kind of has some safe bumpers. You know what I mean? There is some bumpers. This is Burnley. You know what I mean? Like it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be an ass whoop either way. Whatever lineup you're gonna play, it's gonna be an ass whoop. I don't
Yeah.
expect City to like really full on shit the bed unless we played something that was completely out of whack. But I don't think we
Yeah.
are. I think we're always kind of more or less right on the money. But it's to a various degree. But we haven't seen Rico Lewis in a while, so maybe Rico steps up in that slot and he can play in that slot. That above Rodri slot. Um, you know, so yeah, I mean, I think you'll see some periphery players playing in this match. I think you'll see a Doku goal. I think you'll see a Haaland goal, a Foden goal, and let's
Getting
give
greedy.
let's give one
Getting...
to let's give one to Rico Lewis.
Oh, you're calling 4-0.
Yeah, 4-0.
Damn, you're greedy, dog. You're getting greedy, fool. And see,
Hell no.
I'm going 3-0.
3-0. Okay.
I'm going 3-0, and I'm going with two for Haaland because I've been saying that, and it has to happen every time I say it. He doesn't show up to the fucking pitch, and I'm sticking to that because that guy, I know that guy wants goals, dude. That guy wants a goal.
He's an
He's goal
attack.
hungry right
He's gonna be an attack dog. Like he's just like rearing to
now.
go, and he's just like he's on the leash right now. And once you let
Yeah.
him go, he's just gonna just start like
Yeah.
punching in the goals. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm saying two Haaland and one Phil Foden, just because our boys he's on one right now.
That sounds plausible. I think
Yeah.
my prediction sounds a little out there, but
Never know.
I'm Rico Lewis. I don't know. I want to see Rico Lewis back out on the pitch again. Um, just some players you just haven't seen the light of day. I mean, like especially Sergio Gomez. Like where's that good dude been? That dude is like the periphery player. Like You know what I mean? Like I even think like someone like Michael Hamilton's probably going to start before Sergio Gomez hits the pitch. And I was like, I mean, it's like what, like 2 days before the end of the January transfer window. It's like I was thinking that Sergio Gomez was going to be gone, but he's not. You know what I mean? And I think within the culture of the club right now, you do get some Spanish speaking players. Like you have Sergio Gomez, you have Julian Alvarez, you have
Rodri,
who I hear Julian Alvarez and Sergio Gomez are like buddies now, best of buddies now. And
really.
then Silva, Silva is
Yeah,
Portuguese, I
he speaks
believe.
Spanish. Yeah, he speaks Spanish.
Yeah, Rodri is Spanish. You know what I mean?
Ortega.
So, Ortega. So you have some like Spanish speaking players. You have a culture of that in the locker room.
Yeah.
I'm not, I'd be really interested to hear what he act. Like, I mean, get a Sergio Gomez interview and hear about how he has been feeling at City. But I mean, I haven't heard any bad news about him, so I'm sure he's just waiting for his moment. You know what I mean? And hopefully his moment comes in this game, and
He's
gives
involved
us
in all the little side skits and little videos when on Inside City and shit.
Yeah, he always like they did the one where they were doing mate, like how to like
Yeah.
prep mate, and that was
Yeah.
but that's kind of old now.
Yeah.
But like I remember it was like Julian Alvarez, Sergio Gomez, and I forgot who else was the third
Bernardo?
guy, Bernardo, I believe. They were just like prepping mate, and it was kind of it's the most awkward thing ever. I think Julian this was like he's just like kind of just looking all weird, and Sergio's like trying to be like all funny and shit, and Julian's
Yeah.
just kind of like just kind of looking at him and shit, and it's
A
just
little
like who the
shy.
fuck. But I am writing in Julian Alvarez into the FA Cup, man. Obviously because he is senior Spidey. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
get him into the show. Like this whole FA Cup man thing is becoming like its own universe. You'll see. I have it written out. You will see. But yeah, I mean, um, yeah, maybe we'll see Sergio Gomez. But so in terms of predictions, I'm going 4-0. You're saying 3-0.
Yes.
All right. So yeah, I mean, Vincent Company, we love you, dude, but I don't know. And we were talking about this on Bit of Banter because Patrick alluded to this that that Patrick said that Vincent Company is not ready for being the manager of Man City. Do you agree with that, Will?
Yes.
Okay.
I agree. You have to show me more than just winning the championship. You got to show me that you can compete in the EPL with the tactics and the skills and everything that you have, and that has not been showcased this season.
Yeah. I think eventually we'll see him as city coach. But I think that's more years down the line at least.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, so that moves us away from Burnley to the Monday game. So we play next Monday against Brentford away, and this has been a tricky team for us because I believe we lost both games last year to Brentford.
Mhm.
And Brentford away is a tricky team. Um, so Will, what are your thoughts about this match?
This is gonna be a good one, dude. This is. I know they're below on on the table, but this is a big match, and by that I mean we're gonna be using our starting 11 for sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Uh, we're gonna come in full force because the this 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 atmosphere and this vibe that Ivan Tony brought back into the team is a little scary. You know what I mean? And these guys they're balling all of a sudden. So I'm going with my favorite 11. I'm going with Grealish, Erling Haaland, Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden, Kevin De Bruyne. Fuck it, give me Ake, Ruben Diaz, John Stones, and Kyle Walker. That's the headlining band. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That's the starting. That's my starting 11.
that's Dashboard Confessional at We Are Young Festival.
Yeah, there you go. Good
They're playing the
reference.
best album.
Yes,
Uh,
exactly, dude.
but I had to get that reference in. But I will be seeing a best 11, and I
Watch
think my
Dashboard. Hey, watch Dashboard Confessional make it into the Hollywood Kid Packs universe and shit. Watch.
I'm like this close to doing
Oh my
a
god.
Julian Alvarez edit with "Vindicated" as the song,
Right
but
when
like
he scores and shit.
"Vindicated," I am
Yeah.
now. Oh
Oh
man,
shit.
I do love the first two Spider-Mans. The Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans I have a special heart for, but
Yeah.
yeah, but that the Vindicated is a good song. I like Dashboard Confessional. All right.
Hey man.
Uh, you know, uh but so best 11.
Yes.
I agree with that. The back line I don't agree with.
Okay.
I think Gavardiol,
Back
if
left.
Akanji is back, he'll play, and Diaz and Walker.
Gavardiol, one side, Walker on the other side, Diaz and
Yeah,
Stone. Oh, Diaz and Akanji, you say?
Akanji and Diaz.
Okay. Starting to come around to Akanji, or you're just saying that
No,
that's what's
I,
available?
I'm just saying because that's what Pep likes.
Okay.
So like, I think there's definitely like my favorite 11, and that
Yeah.
includes Ake in the back. Um, I mean, if you give me my favorite 11 right now, I would say with no injuries, nothing is going on here. Um, I mean that back line is going to be Ake, Diaz, Stones, and Walker.
That's mine. There you
Yeah,
go.
and then Rodri, KDB, Grealish, Foden, Silva, Holland. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and like one thing I'll say about Doku is like Doku, like I think that Grealish and Doku will alternate. I think that's how it's going to be going. You know what I mean? Like you get Doku and then you'll get Grealish. You get Doku and then you'll get Grealish. Um, Doku is definitely going to. I think he's going to do some. If he plays against Burnley, he's going to create some fireworks. He still has to mature. You know what I mean? His game has to mature. He has to make better decisions on the ball. He has to be able to track back. You know what I mean? And like he still has a lot to learn. He's still a youngin, right? But
Yeah.
I just think Grealish, what he does for this team is important, and it's really important to how Pep plays. You know what I mean? And he fits into Pep's ideal model perfectly. I think he's the exemplar of it. He's someone that really embodies the Pep style of play, and Doku can learn from obviously from Grealish. But I just think it's going to be alternating, and Doku still needs to really mature in his game, which this is his first season with the team, so hopefully he is learning. He seems like he's the type that catches on really quickly. So um, hopefully his game in terms of his terms of just tracking back and creating fouls, you know what I mean, doing something similar to Grealish. Hopefully he gets that, that net, I guess.
Predictions?
For Brentford, oh yeah, shit. Damn. My gut's telling me like nothing. It's just like 2-1.
That's what I was gonna say. Yep,
Fucking
2-1, buddy.
A.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. We're
Yeah.
fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi and Qui-Gon Jinn over here. You know what I mean? Like we're just like, I sense a disturbance in the force. Me
Yeah.
too.
I was like, he's gonna say my score when you were thinking about it. I was like, and that's why I laughed like that. But yeah, that 2-1. It's gonna be a tough one, dude. It's gonna be a tough one.
Yeah.
2-1 tells you that it's gonna be a good ass game.
Who's going to score for Brentford?
Come on, dude. Really?
Tony?
You know that boy's gonna find it. He's gonna bring the. I
I
mean, they'll lose, but the fact that Ivan Tony could come back and score on City after 8 months, that'll fucking bring a W to the Brentford Stadium either way, dude. You know what I mean?
yeah. Um, Brentford, decent club. Don't count 'em down. We lost to Brentford both games last year, so gotta stay humble. But 2-1 is, I think, up the likely score. Who do you have scoring in Brentford?
Ivan Tony, keep it corrupt.
But
Brentford
but for
massive.
but
Well, that's what you asked.
no, I thought I was saying who's going to score for City.
Oh, for City.
Clip that.
Kevin De Bruyne and Erling Haaland.
Okay, so yeah, damn. Yeah, I think Haaland's gonna score. I agree with that. Yeah,
Hey, there you go, man.
I'll agree with that.
That's why
I
we have a
think
podcast.
balls, but just agree with what Will says at all once. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I think we're gonna lock in. I'm interesting to see how we play in these next two games, and we do looking more further afield. We do have Chelsea on February 17th.
Okay.
Pulling up City's thing. We do return to the Champions League. Get that. We return to the so we have Burnley at home, Brentford away, Man City at home on Saturday, February 10th. Then we have Copenhagen, the first leg on February 13th, the round of 16. And then Chelsea at home on February 17th. And we'll be having George from Bit of Banter on the podcast to um, talk about that from the show. And then we play Brentford at home on February 20th because that Brentford game was rescheduled because of the Club World Cup. And then we play Bournemouth away on February 24th. Then we play in the FA Cup fifth round away at Luton Town, Kenilworth Road. Um, and then beginning of March, we have the Manchester Derby.
Okay. Is that a weekend?
It's a weekend. Wait,
4:30.
hold on. It's March. Why is it not giving me a day? March 3rd. It's a Sunday. Yeah, at 9:30.
Woo, there we go. I can't wait for
Yeah.
that one. All
Oh
right.
man, it's gonna be a live stream.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, we won't be live streaming probably until Man City versus Everton if you want to wake up at 4:30 for that game.
Again. Jesus
Uh
Christ.
and then but then obviously we'll be live streaming for Man City versus Chelsea. And that should be fun because it's always fun when we banter with George on the live stream.
Yeah.
Um live stream was last live stream was fun against Newcastle, and we made some core memories. And City just earned a fan in Jason.
Yep.
Shout out Jason.
Oh, shout out Jason. Today's his birthday, so happy birthday, Jason.
Oh shit, we gotta do a
Yeah.
damn. That's worth a post on a story
Yeah,
post
yeah.
at least.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. We'll definitely uh get something out to him. But yeah. So those are the next two matches. Will um any lingering thoughts? Anything that you want to mention?
I'm just please follow us. Let us know. Let them know, Alex, where to get us.
Yeah, so you can follow us at Hollywood Kickbacks, KIPPAX, across all social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And I'll drop this bit. So February 1st, we'll be doing our kit giveaway. We will be
Yes.
doing a kit giveaway again next month. But it will be for YouTube, our YouTube followers. So in
Yes.
order to enter the kit giveaway, you'll be needing to sub to us on YouTube. So we're trying to build up our YouTube presence. Let's get to 1,000 followers so we can start doing super chats. We're
Yeah.
going to be improving our live stream quality, OBS overlays. I'm in the middle of overhauling that. And as we'll be streaming to a lot more platforms simultaneously for our next coming matches. But we're trying to get those YouTube subs. Uh, so on our way to 1 million. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
sir.
So
Yes,
let's
sir.
get you put that into the universe, and we that we appreciate you guys vibing with us. You're vibing with the video memes. You're vibing with the merch. You're vibing with the live streams. You're vibing with just
The
we're vibing, right?
podcast.
And the podcast, yeah.
Yes.
It's fun to be a City fan. You know what I mean? It's
Yes.
not boring. You know what I mean? This team is exciting, and and I'll say it with chest, double trouble is on, baby. Double
Yes.
trouble.
Yes,
So
sir.
get on, you know what I mean? Get on with the
Get
going's
on.
good.
Yes, sir.
So that being said, I'm all out of ideas. Well, let's sign this off. So this is a podcast supporting the best team in the land.
The best team in the world, man. Come on, City.
Come on,
Come on,
City.
City. You
Come
know.
on. You know it's gonna be
City,
biblical month.
City. Yeah.
All right. Cheers. Have a
See you
good
next week.
evening. Bye.
Bye.